Welcome back to the Shakira Miriam Show. I'm your host, the beautiful Shakira Miriam. And, yeah, I'm gonna roll my eyes before I introduce the topic because it's already blowing minds. But, today we will be talking about how black men just continuously dodge accountability. Okay. So, for those of you who are unaware, there is a popular creator named Deante who recently made a viral video on TikTok where he was holding black men accountable. And that alone made black men spiral. Okay? Like, you ever walk outside and then you don't see your car? And you looking like, I know I put my car here, like, where is my car? And then you in the middle of Philadelphia. So you know that ticket about to be taxed. And yeah, that's exactly how black men are crashing out right now. Like, as if they was in that same scenario. Like, acting like a big crybaby who cannot control their emotions. But I want to get into what he said because there was definitely a lot to unpack there. And yeah, I want to talk about it. So let's get into it.
You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
And you are accountable for that as well. Because I don't got time to figure out which white people are nice, which white people aren't racist, or da-da-da-da-da. I have to go on the actions of the group.
Right.
The group as a whole and the history of that group as a whole tells me that they are a danger to me and they are not to be trusted.
Right.
And if you can understand that as a black man and your stance towards white people, then you should absolutely be able to understand women's stance towards you. Mm-hmm. It's not a war on you waged by women. Actually, the war get a little thicker when we start talking about it from the perspective of a woman and the greater society of racism and white supremacy being waged against black people, and then the patriarchal society being waged against women. So they have to deal with two elements. One of those elements we don't have to think about, and honestly, we're perpetuated. Mm-hmm. And it's perpetuated against us young to look at women as objects.
Right.
You know, to look at women only through the lens of a sexual desire and not as the human being that they are. And when you understand how to deal with women on a human level, you understand how much women will enrich your life.
Mm. Amen. Amen.
You want to turn it up a notch?
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot to unpack there. And I was smiling the entire time because it was so refreshing. Like, Deante, it was so refreshing to hear a black man say that. Because it is very common to see most black men deflect. And that's kind of what I want to talk about, because what he was mentioning in this video was a behavior that most black men tend to gravitate towards when we talk about any issues in the black community. Anytime we talk about racism, colorism, texturism, featureism, pedophilia, whatever it is, black men specifically always individualize themselves. They never look at it from a collective standpoint. And they don't realize how damaging that is to the black community and how that has not caused us to progress. Okay? If you are pro-black and you say you care about the black community, you want to further the black family generation through generation, and that's what you identify with, right? You also have to acknowledge and practice black collectivism. Meaning, if majority of the community that you belong to is behaving a certain way, you need to hold that whole entire community accountable for those actions. Just because you are one person in that community that doesn't behave that way, that doesn't mean that you should stay silent while majority of the people in your community are still perpetuating those issues. So when we talk about many issues in the black community that, no shade, a lot of black men do perpetuate, a lot of times when we bring it up, black men always say stuff like, well, I'm not colorist. My friends are not colorists. I don't really know that many people that are colorists, so black men are not colorists. And there's been many situations I've been in real life where I've seen black men treat me differently because I'm dark skinned. And other black men in the room stayed silent and allowed me to get disrespected, manhandled, physically touched, the whole nine. Yeah. And to black men, that sounds normal, but it's not. In other communities, that don't fly. Okay? We are the only community where collectively, black men do not protect black women. They do not protect their own women. They don't. Every other community, they advocate for theirs. No matter what, even if they're strangers. I've seen it in real life. Listen, I've even been in situations where a white girl was being racist and she was in the wrong. And I've seen white men still cape for her, knowing that she was in the wrong. Like, that's how much they ride for theirs. But black men, they kind of turn the other cheek if it's not their problem. You know? Oh, I don't do it, so I'm not going to say anything, and I'm not really going to acknowledge it either. That's your problem, not mine. Like he said in the video. When we talk about racism with white people, we don't allow white people to say, oh, well, I'm not racist, so stop talking about racism. I'm not racist, so stop putting all these laws in place that protect black people against racism, because me and my friends are not racist. So just because 95% of the white community is racist, that doesn't mean that we need to start putting all these precautions in place and start putting all these laws in place to protect black people. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like, imagine a white person said that. You would look at them sideways. Like, okay, just because you're not racist, that doesn't mean that we don't live in a country where majority of your community is racist. So we're going to have these conversations. We're going to have to put this stuff in history books. We're going to have to bring light to these issues, whether you like it or not, whether you perpetuate it or not, because majority of your community is doing it. And they have to stop. And the only way they stop is if they're held accountable. And it don't help. It do not help when the community they belong to lets it slide. Black men, I'm talking to you. I am not talking about the black community as a whole right now. I am talking about black men specifically. And I'm probably not going to be heard because I'm a black woman saying this, which is why I'm very thankful for people like Deante, because when women like me say it, especially y'all quick to gaslight me, especially black men. You know what I'm saying? Like, black women, they already know what's up. Black men, when they're already ready to deflect, already ready to reject the idea that maybe they're wrong, they definitely don't want to hear a black woman tell them that. Okay? So, either way, hopefully I can reach a black man here. But what I'm saying is, you have to practice black collectivism. You have to practice black collectivism and not black individualism. Okay? Because when you practice black individualism, you start to act like white people and how much they take advantage of their privilege. Because black men, no shade, like he said, you do have a privilege. You are black, and I'm not taking that away from you. Racism is point blank period horrible. Point blank period. And the colorism conversation is definitely an issue on both sides between light-skinned men and dark-skinned men, okay? But that's a different conversation. But we're not taking that experience away from you. But you guys are still men in a patriarchal system. You're still men. Okay? So there is a difference. And it's not a gender wars. It's not to compete for struggles. It's not about that. It's about y'all hearing us so y'all can understand our experience, so you know the protection that we need. The problem is when black women talk about our struggles, black men see it like, oh, they're trying to compete with us. They're trying to act like they got it harder than us. And then it becomes a conversation where like we both look like we're competing for a struggle. And that's never what it was. Black men, I want y'all to understand that was never black women's intent when we come to you guys about our struggle. Just like if you had a girlfriend and something was bothering her, she's going to come to you about it because she cares about you and she wants the relationship to work. So she's going to talk to you about it and try to get you to hear her out and see her side. So later on, you know how to handle her and treat her going forward. And when it comes to black women, when we come to black men about our struggles, we're not trying to nag. We're not trying to compete. We tell you because we see you as a safe space. At the end of the day, you still are a part of our community. And outside of black women, the only other person we really are identical to are black men. You're our only counterpart. So we come to you as a safe space. So when y'all gaslight us, when y'all deflect, or when y'all do that thing where you're like, oh, well, I'm a black man that doesn't do it, so it's not my problem. You break a trust with black women. Just like I said, the relationship analogy. Imagine you're dating a girl. After a certain point, if she comes to you and tells you that something is bothering her, or you did something that bothered her, if you continue to gaslight her every time she comes to you, she's going to get scared to go to you. And eventually she's going to leave and find somebody who doesn't give her that problem. Because if you're not willing to learn and grow while I keep communicating with you, then I'm going to have to go elsewhere where I'm valued. And this is not a date out video, or I'm not like promoting that. Like, no, this is not none of that at all. Like, I love black men. Like, I'm not like a divester or anything like that at all. But I'm just saying, I am seeing more black women expand their options. And a lot of black men, I see them crash out and criticize black women for it. Like, even me, y'all remember when I went viral and black men criticized me for months. I was on Twitter for months while they were just making fun of me because I said that as a dark-skinned woman, there's not that many options for me because I go through colorism, so I gotta expand and not just date black men exclusively. And they crashed out about that so hard and attacked me for it. And I was like, damn. So a dark-skinned woman is telling you that she doesn't feel loved in her community by her men. And instead of y'all holding the men accountable that don't make her feel loved and make fun of her and project their self-hatred onto her, you start criticizing the woman because she's making black men look bad. It's like you guys care more about an image than your character. Sound familiar? Sounds a lot like white people.
Some of y'all are actually on Malcolm X's internet arguing that as long as the women in your life are safe, you owe nothing to anybody else, and what's happening to other black women should not be your concern. You're arguing that even speaking up against abuse, harassment, and mistreatment without a but, a and, or at the same time is out of the question because you or nobody you know is like that. That is called individualism, and that, apart from actually having pale skin, is one of the whitest ways you could walk through this world. And I personally am not trying to walk through this world like a white supremacist. I'm not, because that's what's happening. Deante gave a very basic example that we try to give black men so they can understand how patriarchy has affects them and how it harms black women. I wouldn't hear that and try to identify with the white folks in that scenario. I tell you what. And there's a lot of black men who do not understand that scenario because in that scenario, they do not identify with the woman who is black. They identify with the person who is white. They can hear.
And if you can understand that as a black man and your stance towards white people, then you should absolutely be able to understand women's stance towards you.
They can hear that scenario, and because they have already embraced that individual white way of thinking, they can hear that and go, actually, the real victim in that scenario is the white person, and that's who I identify with because they're being generalized, and that's not fair. So that's what it is. That's the issue. There's a lot of black men who got Muhammad Ali on their wall, but they are Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump in their head. That is why they're mad at
Black individualism, it's not pro-black. Okay? It's not. It's a very white supremacist influenced idea of thinking, in my opinion. Okay? Because it causes y'all to behave just like white people when we bring up issues that they contribute to. Literally. Y'all just deflect. Y'all run away. Y'all hop over accountability. And now y'all crashing out because a black man told y'all. Well, I hope, Deante, you keep going. Please do not let these black men bully you. And if you're a black man and you saw his video and you thought that he was pandering, and you need to look deep within, okay? It's okay. It's okay to hold other men in your community accountable. I don't know why it's such a problem, especially when you claim to not perpetuate those behaviors. Then why would it be a problem to hold other men in your community accountable for it? But it's like I said, y'all care about an image. Y'all care about a reputation more than your character and actually improving. And that's why we're at where we're at right now with the state of our community. Okay? And as a black man, it is very essential for you to look to people like Deante Kyle as role models. Okay? Deante Kyle, Mr. J. Hill, that's another one. These two men, they are, let me tell you, very emotionally mature, very educated, and they need to be leading the conversations because they talk about the real shit. And I think that they're a really good role model for black men because more black men need to behave like this. More black men need to step up, take accountability, hold other black men accountable, and protect black women. Because that will make us a unit as a community. And you don't know how, you don't know how strong we are as a unit. And if you need a reminder, baby girl, it's in your history books. Okay? It's a reason they burned down all 36 blocks. Okay? It's a reason. It's a reason. As a unit, we are very powerful. Okay. So I want more black men to wake up. please. Like, because when I say it, y'all hear me as I'm nagging, but funny enough, what Deante is saying, that's been my message ever since I started my whole entire social media journey. But I get called a black man hater. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not no black man hater. I want us as a unit so bad. I'm trying to hold y'all accountable, but you just see me as your mom that's nagging you. So hopefully you can look at people like Deante and Mr. J. Hill and see them as a brother that's smacking you in the face and telling you, nigga, get your shit the fuck together. Because this ain't it. And I think that we will see an improvement in our community. But it starts with role models like this being pushed to the forefront and advocating for black collectivism. Yeah. But that's it for this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Shakira, aka Shakira Miriam. And I talk about colorism, texturism, and featureism and any issues in the black community. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe because it is free, okay? But I love you guys so much. And I will see you guys very soon. Besos.